Good morning, County Cowboy here. A while back I showed you guys a pine needle basket that I made. I've had a lot of folks asking me how I made that pine needle basket. So today I'm going to show you from start to finish how it's made. Behind me you can see what I use for pine needles up here. Nancy today, another one that inspired me to do these videos and to make the baskets, she uses the Ponderosa pine needles. Very long. Where she is, it's easy to get those. Up here in northern Maine, not so easy. So I have to use pine needles from a tree called the red pine, or commonly referred to as the Norway pine. About 5 to 6 inches, usually 5.5 inches. And this is what they look like close up. Unfortunately, you can't use these green, so you have to use the dry needles. Usually you get them right from the forest floor. Some examples here. See, those are decent needles. And you're looking for ones that are fairly stout. See, something like that is good. I have laid out what we are going to start with. Starts with dry raffia and the dried pine needles. And we are using a number 14 darning needle. You can see that okay. So to give you an idea of what I had before, this is what the pine needle basket looked like that I had made. So to start with, what we want to do is take the moistened raffia. You have to make sure the raffia is moist and the pine needles are moist. If not, you'll snap the pine needles right in half when you go to bend them around. And I'm going to take the raffia and I'm going to take my darning needle, pick a spot, probably right, we'll say right there sounds good. Okay. See, I'm splitting that. And then I'm going to continue splitting that. So now we have 3 pieces of raffia. Now we'll take and use the pine needles here. I have the pine needles on a little washcloth here for a reason. You can see the ends. See the ends of the pine needles? Those are the sheaths. You can use them, but not when you're making the bottom of the basket, or at least I try not to. So, let me take the sheaths and just pop them off with the napkin, or the washcloth rather. I'm going to do about 12 or 13 of these. Once you get all those ends knocked off, you want to take and line the bottoms up so that they are even. Now, you have all the ends even, just like that. Now put them back into the gauge just to hold them in place. And what I do is, you want to start with the skinny end first. That way as you go up the raffia, you have the bigger piece to work with. Take your pine needles and make sure the ends are still lined up. And you're just going to start wrapping. Okay. Start wrapping fairly tight. Try to keep the raffia flat if you can. Then you can grab the other end and go from there. And again, just wrap the raffia around. And then once you get, I don't know, just about an inch down, you're going to want to thread your needle, and you are going to bend the pine needles very carefully onto See how slowly I'm bending them? You don't want to break them. What I'm going to do is take the pine needle, or take the raffia, bring it around, and I'm putting the needle right through, you see that? Right through the middle of the raffia. And that is going to go around and hold the first pine needles in place. And then you continue to do it. You want these stitches probably about no more than a 1/4 inch apart if you can help it. Try to keep the pine needles flat against the other bundle until you get to the turnaround point. Now once you get to this spot here, and just bend that over. Again, bend real slow. Same idea, but you're going around the opposite side. If you want, you can go through the same hole. Okay. And again, hold that tight. It's time to add more pine needles. And this time I'm going to add about 14 of them. Okay, I just put those right behind the other pine needles. Bring the raffia over, through the hole, and pull tight. And we're just adding on to the base of the pine needles. You see where I'm going through the middle? I'm going through the raffia. I find it easier if I just pull the raffia over the pine needles first. Okay, pull the raffia over, and then go through that way. And after you've done that quite a few times, you end up with a piece like this. And now that we're at this stage here, we are going to start to build the sides. Okay. And how we're going to do that is we're going to go around here. We're going to bring this piece right here almost right on top. And to keep it straight, I'm going to go, if you can see what I'm doing here, instead of going straight through like I've been doing, I'm going to go at an angle. About a 45, maybe a little less. And that's going to start to build my side. When I bring that in, that'll start to bring that pine right up on the side. And in a minute you'll see exactly what I mean here. Can you see that start to go up? Okay. We'll add a few needles, not quite so many this time. Work too well. So we'll just put them on top like such. Okay. Same idea, going around. Try to get it between pull those. Again, try to go so it comes out straight. And what I'm trying to do is lay all these needles right on top of the previous layer. And you just keep doing this. And I'll come back here in a few minutes and show you what it looks like when we get some sides up. And this is where we're at right now. I make about 6 or 7 stitches, and then I add some more pine needles, usually about 6 or 7. I put them through the gauge so they stay tight. And as you see, I've only gone up maybe 2 or 3 rows here. I'm not going to make a really tall basket, just a little bigger than we did before, and I'll show you the fern stitch when we get on top. Okay folks, now we're going to finish up the top. I'm on the last parts here. I'm just going to go around and add maybe like 3 or 4 needles, taper it off here and there, still going straight in through so that it stays straight, see? Going down through. That's how I'm keeping the sides straight up and down. I'm just using my finger on the side of the basket to keep the pine needles from going too astray, see? Okay, now it's pretty much finished. All we're going to do now is go back. Okay, we're going to do what's called a fern stitch. I think I'm doing this right. So see, I'm just going in the hole that I was using before. You can see that. Bringing the raffia over and just coming through. And I keep doing that until I go all the way around again. and that will strengthen the basket and will give me the finished look that I'm trying to get. And this will be my second pine needle basket. Again, it's a little bit neater than the other one, not too much more, but I don't think this can be learned overnight, to tell you the truth. Now when I get to where I started, my stitch where I started there, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come through, pull it taut, and now I'm going to just weave through the stitching. Okay, I'm just going to take the darning needle, go through a few of the tops, so I come out, see when the needle comes out, and just pull that tight in, and that will finish up. See where the raffia is going? Just gonna disappear right in, just like that. Snip off here, and then we have I guess a pine needle dish is what you call it, but see, the stitching is a little better. There's still some gaps in it, but the rim looks a little better. The bottom. To all those who have been waiting to actually see the making of the pine needle basket, the ones that have asked me about how'd you make it, thanks for your patience. I finally got around to making it. Took me 3 weeks, something like that. But anyways, that will conclude it for the making of the pine needle basket. It's a little bigger basket than the one before. Stitching is a little bit better. It's going to take practice. I'm learning that it's not something that can be learned overnight. Dang it! But anyways, if you missed a step, have any questions on how to make it, subscribe, comment if you like, give me an idea of what you think of the basket. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.